5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to a little thing that we call the Cipher 360. I am your host, Marcus the Kidd Warren, and with me is my man Muff. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, doing well. It's another day, another dollar, another weekend. We're trying to get it in. Just kind of getting right into it here. Well, let me back up a little bit.
Back up.
Back up. Back it up. Rewind. Kanye West. And I know I was talking to my man, though he didn't get a chance to see it. I'm not going to go heavy into it because my man didn't get a chance to peep it. But, you know, I saw that interview, and Kanye West was in rare form during that interview.
Okay.
A lot of things he talked about I agree with. There was parts he was going straight Kanye. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you know how, like, LP says the full retard? You got the straight Kanye. It's the same difference. Okay. And not that Kanye West is a retard. I don't mean it that way. I mean that Kanye West is an extreme version of himself. I mean, if that makes any sense. Kanye West says what he wants to say. He's very passionate, if nothing else. Mm-hmm. Hip-hop needs him. I think he's a brilliant producer. I think he is eccentric. I do think that he makes a statement. Just check it out. We could go into detail, but my man didn't see it, so we'll talk about that another time. But it was just real heavy in my mind.
All right, so everybody check it out. I'll check it out, and we'll come back together and we'll discuss.
We'll discuss it, man. But what are we discussing today?
We're discussing Drake.
Drizzy Drake. Nothing was the same. The name of the LP, nothing was the same. First of all, where can they reach us, sir?
They can reach us on Facebook. We are the Cipher Crew. They can also hit us up on Twitter. We are Kidd and Muff 44 on Twitter. That's KIDDANDMUFF 44 on Twitter. You can also hit us up on our Gmail account, which is also Kidd and Muff 44, KIDDANDMUFF 44 on Gmail. So please do that. Hook us up.
Nothing was the same, Drake. You know, I was really apprehensive about even asking you to review this, and I'll tell you why. Because the single that came out that's been out for a minute, Start From the Bottom, I really don't like that song at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, you know, I figure, but, you know, we kind of have a duty to listen to hip-hop a little bit in general, to give reviews whether we like it or not. Mm-hmm. But I said, okay, let me go ahead and give this album a listen. And, you know, aside from that song, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of the production of this album. Mm-hmm. Drake, I tell you, man, this is what it is about Drake to me.
What is it about Drake?
And, you know, I spoke with my cousin Marlon about this recently, too. Okay. It's the fact that we all know, a lot of us know in the underground, that Drake is from Toronto. Mm-hmm. And he used to do some things with Little Brother a little bit, right? Okay. You know Fonte from Little Brother. Fonte from Little Brother is one of the MCs of the, it's not really a duo, it's a trio, because it's really Knife Wonder, Big Pooh, and Fonte. At any rate, Fonte does what Drake does, meaning that he raps and sings. Yes, sir. And is probably equally adept at both. Mm-hmm. Okay? Not that these guys are exceptional singers, but they do hold their notes pretty well, and they can make good records. Because Fonte's been doing that, whether it's the band Zoe, whether it's the band Foreign Exchange, whether it's his own solo album, or any of his work with Little Brother, Fonte does a great job of that. So that's why when people talk about how Drake is this, that, and the third, as far as he's soft or he sings and rhymes, I kind of know what the source of a lot of his talent comes from in Toronto, and I know he used to work with Little Brother a little bit too. That's what they do, and it's all good to me. You know what I mean? So, anyways, just kind of give you some context and background behind Drake and how I'm looking at Drake. One of the things I noticed about this album, as far as flow is concerned, I'm gonna comment on flow a little bit. I noticed that the first couple albums that Drake put out. Now, this is my opinion. Now, again, I'm not a heavy Drake fan as far as the mainstream is concerned. You know how I am. I'm more of an underground dude, but I do listen to all hip hop. His cadence was very much like that of a lot of Young Money people, and that's like the Lil Wayne cadence a little bit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't notice it that much in this album. And that was a positive. It sounded more like how I've been used to hearing, you know, Drake. Mm-hmm. Also, with him singing on some of the tracks, like I mentioned beforehand, you know, that's what Drake does. But the thing, again, that I was pleasantly surprised about was the quality of production. I can go through some of the songs. Before I do that, let me get an overview from you as far as how you felt about this album.
Well, you know what? I've liked Drake for a while. Okay, Drake is to me like he's an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? He reminds me of, he could be a member of the Rat Pack. You You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Actor, rapper, singer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He can do everything. When it comes to this album, I do agree with you. Like what I heard from the bottom, was not a big fan of it. Okay. I didn't like it. I didn't think I was going to like this album at all. Right. It was surprisingly, like you said, well put together, well produced. Like the one thing about Drake, to me anyway, in just my opinion, Drake will always start off strong. Because I love his flow, I love his cadence. I think he has his own style that he's actually perfected in this album. His cadence is off the freaking hook. But the thing about Drake is that sometimes he loses me, you know, and not to any fault of Drake. I think it's probably my own taste. So that's why I keep on repeating. It's my opinion. But I mean, the tracks like 305, to My City. You know, the tracks like that, he'll lose me a little bit when he starts to sing and he has the repetitive thing and keep on singing things over and over again. But the thing is, I still enjoy Drake's style. And you want to talk about the flow of this album. The flow of this album is just one of those albums that you can just play and it just plays on because the production is just so tight. And the production is a lot, I don't want to say the same, but it just flows well together like a well put together puzzle.
You know, like, the album for me actually started off a little slow and got better as it went on. Which is kind of the opposite of what you're saying.
I thought it started off very strong.
Like you know, the first few songs in the album, I wasn't blown away by until I got to Worst Behavior.
Okay.
Now that joint right there, once that started, it's like, okay, here we go. He's about to get it in. That's when it began to really, take off for me. Connect. You know, and really, I'll tell you one of the reasons why I really sought to review this album too is because watching not Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon. Is it Jimmy Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Fallon. I get Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel mixed up all the time.
Whatever.
Watching Drake on there doing Too Much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Live with the Roots. You know,
great song.
The Roots make anything sound great. But I said, man, the way. You know, he flowed on that track was crazy. You know what I mean, with the live band, and nothing is lost in listening to the recorded version too. So, I thought it was great. I thought it got better. Pound Cake, and I know we kind of debated that, and that's kind of one of the more popular songs of this album right now because I know that Raekwon actually did a freestyle on it called Marble Cake. He did. You know what I'm saying? You know, so Raekwon is doing what he does. Raekwon is funny because Raekwon always has that very low conversational rap, like this politics ditto. Let's cuss for Scarface such and such. There's always that real conversation that was floated in.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm digressing here. But Pound Cake with Jay-Z, I think the instrumental was crazy on that joint to me. To me, it is. Again, this the production from top to bottom I thought was relatively tight, man. Didn't come across as a Cash Money record to me. Young Money, whatever. His cadence was very much his own cadence. I didn't hear a lot of the Lil Wayne type of cadence I would hear earlier in some of his earlier work.
Okay.
And to me, this is the album that Drake really came out, and it's like he's in his own lane now completely. You know what I mean? It's not like any Wayne. I don't think there's any Wayne collaborations or anybody from Young Money on. Well,
no, none at all. Which actually surprised me as well. Now, and let me tell you something that surprised me about your review of this album, because I'm listening to this thing, I'm thinking, okay, Muff's gonna shit all over this thing because it is not boom bap whatsoever. There is no hint of boom bap in this album, but it's just very well put together. And a lot of people have the misconceptions about us actually because they think just because somebody is mainstream that we're not gonna like their album.
No, that's not the case.
This is just great music.
Yeah, exactly. Good music top to bottom. So, big fan of the album. Again, it's not. Look, put it in the context. It is a mainstream. If there is a lane which there is for pop, hip hop, whatever you want to call it, mainstream. This is definitely it. Okay, but he does it in a way that doesn't sound like it's contrived or I'm trying to make a hit. He's just doing him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whereas, okay. We've talked about Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco always has a couple of tracks in there where he's trying to appeal to mainstream, to me. Heck, one of my favorite, your favorite MC, one of my favorites, Talib Kweli. I could even go so far as to say his production, generally speaking, suffers a little bit because he's trying to do that a little bit.
I'll punch you in your mouth.
I know. I know. But I'm telling the truth. Talib Kweli, man,
that's that's debatable.
Come on, debate. Really? You don't think, to me, Talib Kweli could put out a better album than he's been in the last couple albums to me. That's my opinion.
Okay, like I said,
whatever. I know I hurt your feelings, whatever, man.
Don't talk about Talib, man.
But he's still a dope. He's a dope
yes,
rhymer.
dope rhymer.
At any rate, let's get back to it. Anyways, if I'm rating this thing, Drake, 4 out of 5 for me.
4? Oh, I'm sorry, what?
4 out of 5 ciphers.
Oh, I agree with you. That I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 as well. I mean, it's well put together. Drake does his thing, and the thing I love about Drake is Drake has always been Drake to me. Okay, I mean, it's like you say, like he might have adapted a little Wayne a little bit in his earlier records, but you know what? Wayne always stays in his lane. Wayne does his thing, or I'm sorry, Drake does his thing, and in this one, Drake just seems to have perfected his style. His style's off the hook. His cadence is crazy. I give it 4 out of 5 as well. And let me just remind you where you can find us. You can find us on Facebook. We are the Cipher Crew. Be our friend. And hit that likey thing. Hit that like thing down there. Also, you can hit us up on our Gmail account. We are KiddandMuff44. That's KiddandMuff44 at Gmail. And also on Twitter. Hit us up.
And also, real quick, if you guys have any ideas about, we're not like hip-hop omnipotents over here. So if you guys have any albums or, any artists you guys want us to review, make sure you get back to us on this. You know what I mean? So give us some ideas. I have a lot too, but I'd also like to hear more from you guys too. That would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, sir. We both agree. Drake's album, great album.
Check it out.
Check it out. 4 out of 5. If you don't agree with us, let us know. Hit us up. And why? Because the Cipher said so, son. We out. Peace.
Yeah, and you don't stop. Check it, my man Trey, and you don't stop. Johnny Boombats, and you don't stop. My man Muff, and you don't stop. My nigga Woo, and you don't stop. Little Brooklyn, and you don't stop. Grand Jury, and you don't stop. Jay White, and you don't stop. Cipher music, and you don't stop. Check it, we rise from the grave with the eyes of a slave. We strive to survive, rocking the mic live, no surprise that we paid. We created a trade that became a craze, or was it vice versa? Gave birth to a verse and baptized it in cursive. If you thirst for the real, then travel no further. We murdered the fraudulent motherfuckers and went out to get burgers. We hip-hop carnivores, living by the art of war, with enough lyrical ammo in my dome that I can start a war. Still the shogun, defeated by no one. Bringing back soldiers, put them together, and I'm leaving them broken. With the hollow point flow, to the opposite of your toes. You'll be like, oh my god, the key I double, we didn't know. So put your hands to the opposite of the flow. Feel the rhythm with Muff on the beat, and the kid is on the wisdom. And who was on the boards, and them niggas had the vision. We can make some real shit to make these motherfuckers listen. To the people in the front, gonna give you what you want, like yeah, and you don't stop. To the people in the back, coming right and exact, like yeah, and you don't stop. It's like yes, yes, sure. To the beat, sure. When you give it to me, yeah, give it to me raw. When we get together, do we stand, do we fall? Welcome to the Backpackers Ball. Yes.